Town Council votes on final approval for Denise Menard's town manager contract. The details just ahead.
The Board of Public Works talks snow and ice budget. We compare the budget to previous years, see where we stand.
Also coming up, library programs and church events from movies to a Mardi Gras celebration you won't want to miss.
Those stories and much more ahead on ELCAT News Update.
Thanks for tuning in to ELCAT News Update. I'm John Torsha.
And I'm Courtney Ingalls. We begin the show recapping the latest town meetings. On Tuesday, February 14th, Town Council members officially approved Denise Menard's contract as East Longmeadow's town manager. Back in August, Menard served as interim town manager to then being voted for the permanent position in December. After months of contract negotiations, a vote was finally set last Tuesday to approve Menard's new employment contract.
Confirmation of the executive session vote for the town manager contract. So I will entertain a motion to approve the motion that was approved in the executive session to approve the town manager's contract with the effective changes. Amendments.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Also at that meeting, Menard provided a department update highlighting new town hires.
With our human resource person in place, we are now advertising for Director of Municipal Finance this week and Director of Planning and Community Development next week. Those are both charter mandated positions. As with most other hiring, I expect we would have someone on board within a month of advertising for the positions. I also expect that we'll be hiring a building commissioner soon.
Next, a financial presentation regarding plans for a new medical office building to be located on the East Longmeadow and Longmeadow town line.
My name is Vicki Donahue. I'm an attorney at Caney Bird & Myers, and I represent Fairview Extended Care Services, Inc. They're the owners of the property that's at 305 Maple Street. That's the existing nursing home property. That property also, if you can go to the next slide, then the property, this is a new project plan, but the property that's shown on the plan here is all of the premises, which is now part of the nursing home. The building that is to the north, which is on the top left, is the existing nursing home building. And we have a proposal going forward to actually sell all of the property to the west of the town line, so that the property in Longmeadow is under contract for purchase. And the traffic study did reveal that there's going to need to be done some extensive work just to solve the current conditions that are in this area. The current scope of work for the project is about $2.5 million. Obviously something that's way beyond anything that any developer would be taking on. With that in mind, then we kind of stepped back, and Mike had some conversations and brought in Jeff and came up with this potential solution, if adopted by the two towns, to establish a DIF district in each town. Okay, so Jeff, you want to speak to the DIF issue?
Yeah, my name is Jeff Daly, and I'm principal at CGC Development Advisors, and I've been working with Mike and the entire team here in East Longmeadow and Longmeadow. Obviously, the private developer is developing inside the property boundaries, and then there is some infrastructure work that needs to be done. And with that, how do we pay for that? Back in 2003, the Massachusetts created a program called the District Improvement Financing Program, otherwise known as DIF. And what a DIF does is it uses future incremental property tax from the property. So, for example, if a building is built and there's no tax collected right now, if a building is built and you start collecting $30,000 a year for the tax of that building, those taxes are earmarked, if you will, to the DIF program by Mass General Law, Chapter 40Q, to pay for any bonding infrastructure needs that surround it. So it's really, the DIF is what I like to call growth that pays for growth. The towns or cities can recognize that there may be infrastructure issues that are public owned, and to make the private development sites more attractive, or to make a development project more attractive for the infrastructure, they really created this program for that. What we're sitting here before you tonight, and we sat last week in front of Longmeadow, is two things you would need to do. Is the first thing, each town, according to Mass General Law 40Q, each town needs to create a DIF district. So you would be voting on a district that it would include only your town. Long Meadow would do the same. So there'd really be two districts within one property. And then what we would do is once that's approved, baseline assessments are established. So the baseline of what you're receiving today for taxes, the values of those buildings would be assessed and they'd be locked in at that point. And then any incremental growth beyond that would then be earmarked towards, or incremental growth or fees through developer agreements would be earmarked to pay for the bond that we would ask the town of Long Meadow and East Long Meadow to get together and work on.
We're all right with creating the district, the diff, right? Contingent on Long Meadow and whatever, tonight. Does that help?
Yes,
You.
I believe it does. I
So,
believe it helps the whole project as well.
motion 2, which is the 20-year improvement and all that other stuff,
I would
we could
entertain it.
visit that in March, like you say.
I don't ask the council to do anything that they're not comfortable with, so if it means deferring that vote till some future date, then let's do that.
But as far as advancement of the project, because nobody wants to, I don't think anybody really wants to see the project delayed, but of course, it's an intermunicipal agreement, which is never clean,
Sure, right.
right? But at that point, I would say that we would make a motion to create the
Yeah,
div,
we just
known
limit
as the
ourselves.
Maple Street
Yeah,
Improvement District.
Motion 1 only.
Motion 1 in the draft,
Yeah.
a facility, roadway, and related improvements proximate to the district for the term of 22 years from the date of Long Meadow District adoption, which is
Right,
what we
and we're
talked
gonna-
about, right?
Right, and we understand that the owners of 305, 318, 319, 331 Maple Street are all on board,
Right.
all right? And
Exactly
none of
what
these,
Don said.
and then we have we annex into the motion a meet and bound, a plan clearly showing what we're talking about. So it's not, approximating crossing into any butters property. The motion, as you read it, subject to 3 items: acceptable municipal agreement,
Actions by the board, Long Meadow Board.
and
of
actions by the, approval by the Long Meadow Board of Selectmen, and approval by their town, Long Meadow Town Meeting. And then the last point is annexing into the motion,
The appendix.
Meets
This-
and bounds.
the appendix
The
or
append-
exhibit A, or whatever you want to
exhibit
call it, into that motion.
So I'm gonna entertain that motion that he just made with all those things. Is there,
Yeah, you just entertained it, right?
yeah,
I'd like to move it.
so it's moved, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
The meeting ends with an overview on general budget plans presented by Town Accountant Sarah Menard.
First, talk about our revenue sources, though. So that is the smaller sheet of the two. And you will see that I included the FY17 approved budget. Your next column is my FY18 projections. Those projections are based on the fiscal 2017 levy limit multiplied by 2.5%, so our prop 2.5. And then it also takes into account new growth and debt exclusions. Then I did estimates on local receipts, and I based those estimates on current year activity, prior year history, budget, and any other outliers that I might know of. And then you have the transfers from the community preservation. That is simply following off of the debt schedule as to what community preservation pays to general fund in order to then pay the community preservation debt. The Chapter 70 lottery and other state aid, those are based off of the governor's estimated budget that is currently online. I checked again this week, and these are the most recent numbers. So as those estimates change, these numbers will change slightly, most likely, but the governor's budget is not final, so it's just the best guess right now. And then the last item that you'll see there is the MSBA reimbursement. That is one of our debt exclusion items. So as long as we have that debt, we have this reimbursement that we get as well, which offsets some of that debt. And that brings me to my preliminary projection of about $58 million in revenue.
The Board of Public Works also reviewed budget items at their latest meeting. DPW Superintendent Robert Parent talks highway, snow, and energy expenses.
The first item I have tonight is to review our budget as we do on a monthly basis. And I would say that we're trending, as we have been most of this year, pretty similar and pretty favorably to previous months. We are, in most cases, where we would like to be at this time of year. Our highway budget is doing okay, but it's a little bit tighter than I'd like at this time of year, and primarily due to our vehicle repair expenses. We've incurred some significant costs to date, and we have, unfortunately, a couple more significant costs that we expect to hit us in the next week or two. I did want to note our snow budget on this tabulation that I put together, which is what we were aware of for bills as of February 1st. Shows that we were at 85% overall in our budget. The good news is that I'm estimating that we're about $100,000 less than we were 2 years ago. On the flip side, we're about $60,000 more than we were last year. So it seems to make sense. So we're kind of in the middle of a very favorable year from the budget standpoint last year and a very difficult year the year before.
Yeah.
I want to point out our energy budget. Our energy budget is trending well. Even though our gas expenditures and oil expenditures are higher this year, again, as you might expect, because it's been a colder year than last year, it's good to note that our electricity savings have more than offset the increase in the natural gas and the fuel oil bills. So we're running in the range of about $30,000 less at this time of year than we were last year, even though we've seen our natural gas usage go up.
Lastly, the Wednesday, February 15th Board of Library Trustees meeting.
First, Darcy Kane.
Okay, well, thanks for having me. Diane invited me back again this year to fill you guys in on the mini golf event that's coming up in March. So it's an indoor mini golf event that we set up here at the library. It's 10 holes, so 5 of the holes will be in the children's department. There's 1 hole that gets set up here in the community room next door, and the remaining 4 holes are upstairs. Each hole is decorated with a literary theme, so we're well on our way to having our holes decorated. We have 8 holes themed and planned out so far, so we're looking for some volunteers to wrap up those last 2 holes. People played, they get a scorecard, you follow the course around the library, play around a mini golf, and just have a good time, yeah.
Speaking of the library, let's dive into upcoming events. Take the whole family out to enjoy the new hit animated comedy, Trolls. Just out of theaters, this lighthearted musical will make you want to get up and dance. Hollywood names such as Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick play the lead roles, or as you can say, lead trolls in this film. Join in on the library's movie matinee, Saturday, February 25th at 1 p.m. The next library program welcomes aspiring authors for those 13 years and older. Get ready for a creative writing workshop. During this 8-week program, participants will learn the fundamentals of fiction. Be prepared to write, read, and share your work while exploring 2 of the most popular literary genres, science fiction and fantasy. Bring your imagination, paper, and pen on Saturday, February 25th at 1 p.m. Lastly, we talk Great Decisions, America's largest discussion program on world affairs. The Great Decisions program is taking place all around the country at libraries, schools, and community centers. Thanks to the Foreign Policy Association, after the 8 topics are discussed, participants will have the chance to vote online on the specific matters. The results are then given to Congress for review. Get informed and stay up to date on Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. Registration is required.
February vacation is right around the corner, and for those teachers staying in the area, Balance With Us Yoga and Fitness Center wants to show their teacher appreciation. Starting February 19th through the 26th, Balance With Us is offering free yoga classes for all teachers. What better way to try yoga than on break? Just show your teacher ID and start relaxing in their studio, absolutely free. For more information, visit balancewithus.com. After February break, St. Mark's Church invites all to their Mardi Gras celebration. Mardi Gras is a time to eat and drink before Lent. The church will be hosting a feast of pancakes, bacon, beverages, fruit, desserts, and more. The meal is free, but the church will be accepting free will offerings. Don't miss the special event on Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. at St. Mark's Church located on 1 Porter Road.
We'll end tonight with public service announcements. With all this snow lately, a reminder for residents that you must clear sidewalks within 24 hours after the snow ceases to fall. Be sure to check out your property line to see what exactly you're responsible for clearing.
While you're out there shoveling, be mindful about fire hydrants. The fire department is asking for your help. The fire department recently posted on their Facebook page asking for assistance. Having quick access to the fire hydrant can save firefighters precious time during a fire.
We've had two pretty significant storms in the last week, and what that does create is a problem for us is that if residents aren't shoveling out their fire hydrants, then it falls on the fire department to go out. We try and get the main roads and the cross streets, but there's about 1,000 hydrants in town, so we don't get a chance to hit all of them. So what we would like to ask is that if you're a town resident, you have a fire hydrant on your property, do your best to clear it out. If you're not capable to do so, see if someone in the neighborhood can help you out. We try to, like I said, we try to hit the ones that are on the main streets, but as far as the ones that are in the back roads and the side streets, we just cannot possibly get to all of them. Just make a circle around the hydrant, because we do need to get in there and get the tools and get our hose supply hooked up. So it's so important. It takes so much time for us to clear that hydrant, and in the event of a fire, that's minutes lost that we can't get to that hydrant and get a water supply for our fire engine. So.
Well, that will do it for this edition of ELCAT News Update. Be sure to stay connected with us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at ELCAT 01028.
And don't forget to watch us on cable channels 191, 192, and 193. For cable channel times, make sure to check out our ELCAT program guide. Guides are available at the Town Hall, Library, Senior Center, and through our website at eastlongmeadowma.gov. Also, check your mail as the programs will be delivered monthly within the reminder.
Until next time, I'm John Torsha.
And I'm Courtney Ingalls. Thanks for watching. See you next week.